66 consecutive Tuesdays of Nebraska football talk. How about that right here at the Voice of College Football? And it is possible because of Greg Peterson joining us for the conversation each and every week from Husker Online. So, folks, jump on in, leave those comments and questions. We're talking Nebraska football with you. And you know what? While you're at it, hit the like button. And while you're at it, get out there on social media, spread the word, share the link, let people know that we're here talking college football and talking Huskers. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Mark. Sorry, 66 almost didn't go off since Google was messing with me on trying to log in. So I apologize to everybody for us being late.
Greg was sharing his war stories with me of just trying to wrestle with Google. I had to do that recently, too, or I might not have listened to you, but I went through the same experience a couple weeks ago. They were giving me all sorts of issues, making me reset passwords and get security codes and all sorts of things.
Yeah, I hate to make everybody wait so long for us to join our regular conversation here on Tuesday nights. But we're here.
We're here.
Yeah,
we'll make up for it.
Absolutely.
So everybody will answer your questions and comments, and keep in mind the super chat's on, or you can contribute Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. But otherwise, just be here, hit the like button, and let's talk Huskers. Scott Frost was talking last night. So that was kind of his wrap up on the spring season, correct?
Yeah, he was on Huskers Sports Nightly last night. Kind of their, I'd say their regular spot for the head football coach during the season. But yeah, so he gave his thoughts and answered some questions and everything. And not quite sure where to go with it from there. I mean, people can ask their questions and everything of what he said. Yeah, he obviously, I think he addressed the defensive line, which I think is the biggest question right now with this team, especially after losing to Casey Rogers last week to the transfer portal, a guy that was slated to start on the defensive line. But it is what it is right now in this age of the transfer portal. Those kind of things happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see a commitment from a defensive lineman here by Sunday. Just looking into my crystal ball. I don't want to say much more than that, but but no, he addressed pretty much all the positions and everything, and coaching additions and just how things have progressed and everything. So no, he didn't really reveal much, just like we've seen all spring. We're still have a lot more questions than we have answers to at this point.
Sunday is May 1st. I believe Sunday or Monday is the last day that a player can enter the transfer portal.
Sunday. Yep.
And then I think once they enter the transfer portal, they have something like a month to decide and figure out where they're going to go.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm not up to speed on all those rules, but I know Sunday is the cutoff date. So, like I was saying, that I wouldn't be surprised to see Nebraska add a defensive lineman or two, maybe, by Sunday. And then you cross your fingers that you don't lose anybody else that's on the roster currently, because that can still happen. And we all know that this happens because of roster spots and competition at your position, and you're not safe. You don't know what is going to be secure on your roster right now until Sunday passes. So, and Nebraska right now they're over their 85 scholarship limit. Not by a lot, but they have room to play with. So, there's going to be some moves here. And like I said, the biggest thing is that for Nebraska fans right now is just to cross your fingers and hope that somebody doesn't put their name in the portal before Sunday.
I think Roger Dodger has the best idea I've seen today here. Taco Tuesday at Cornhuskers Live.
I love it. I love Taco Tuesday. I love tacos.
Okay. Well,
I'm all for it. We need a sponsor for that.
We need a sponsor for that, and we can all have tacos on Tuesday. Otherwise, I don't know. We need some advanced technology for somebody to sponsor that and get tacos to all of us all over the country. I don't know how that's going to work.
Well, it'd be amazing if we could pull that off, obviously. And we're not going to go LeBron James and say, Taco Tuesday. But, no, we like tacos on Tuesday.
You know what? I don't even know what you're talking about. Is that some kind of new LeBron ad?
Oh, no, that's a couple years old now.
Is it?
Well, it wasn't even an ad. It was just him on Twitter when he
that's me not paying attention.
No, he joined the Lakers and was doing some, Twitter or Instagram and talking about Taco Tuesday at his own house there.
Okay. I missed.
It was in my opinion, it was annoying. That's why it sticks out in my mind.
Okay.
And I love LeBron James. Don't get me wrong. I love LeBron James.
Pretty much the last time I saw LeBron James was his last game with the Cavs, so it's been a while. Yeah. But Roger Dodger, you make this happen. We'll put this on you. This is your project. All right.
I like it. I love it. I mean, we have a lot of, around Lincoln too. Maybe the biggest taco fast food capital of the world, I would say.
Really?
Oh, maybe, yeah. I mean, there's so many fast food Mexican places around here. It's not even funny. And don't get me wrong, I love it. A lot of them to choose from.
Do we know what Matthew's talking about? That there's big volleyball news that affects football?
Boy, I'd have to ask.
I just looked it up and I don't see anything.
They had their. I know they had their spring deal, whatever, their scrimmage or whatever, and I know there was some stories on Husker Online on the volleyball there, but I'm sorry I didn't read them. I'm a bad boy. You guys caught me on that. I cannot comment. I don't really know anything about that.
Okay. Well, when we start our volleyball live show, we can jump on that.
I can text Abby right now if you want me to. If it's that important, I can send Abby a text and see what she has to say about it. Or you could probably read her story on Husker Online.
Matthew, get on that. Gary, I'm glad you enjoyed.
I'm a football guy, people. I'm a football guy. And basketball, but football mainly.
Gary, glad you enjoyed whatever phone call you're alluding to on our show. Thank you for that. I don't think we need another conversation about Raising Cane's this week.
Oh, yeah. I don't want it. Anybody out there asking about Raising Cane's, have you tried Slim Chickens? That one's better.
Oh, okay.
I'll just put that one out there.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I think it's a local, like a 3-state kind of deal right about now. Iowa, Nebraska, and somebody else, Kansas or Missouri or somebody.
Tim's got a recruiting question.
Ooh.
Greg, what can you tell me about Casey Rogers? I heard USC offered and he visited for the spring game. Well,
he's, Casey he's the guy who just went into the transfer portal as a 6-year senior with that extra COVID year. So he has 1 year to play. He's an East Coast guy. When he came out, I think he was in the 2018 class. But look at his career stats. He was slated to be a starter on the defensive line this year. But if you look at his career stats, I think he has about 5 total tackles in his whole career. Maybe a half of a sack, or maybe that was just this year. But he hasn't done anything. He's been hurt most of his career here at Nebraska, and He missed the whole spring. He was out all spring, and you know what? It's hard to know what's going through these guys' minds. That he's got 1 year left, and maybe I don't know. He knows something that maybe somebody's going to be committing here soon. That's going to take his spot. So he's looking for somewhere else to go. I think when it happened last week, I think it happened on last Thursday. It's like, why? I mean, my boss, Sean Callahan, is like, hey, Casey Rogers is entering the transfer portal in an hour. Let's do something on it. I'm okay, but I'm like, why? And he's like, I don't know. So, I mean, you don't know what goes through these guys' minds. And I mean, we kind of speculated, would he go to Oregon to follow Tony Tuioti, the former defensive line coach who Jordan Riley jumped into the transfer portal and went and followed Coach Tuioti to Oregon. So yeah, it's kind of weird to see a guy like Casey Rogers to be eyeing West Coast schools like that. Just given his background and everything, and how much time and effort he put in to being a productive football player at Nebraska, which really never materialized.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a hell of a head of hair. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
I mean, he's got a professional wrestler's head of hair. So
yeah. I see it here,
and he's got the tattoos to match, and yeah, so
yeah, he does have some kind of. Looks like you're going professional wrestling hair. I would have said more like a 50s pompadour, at least on his mug shot here.
I almost spit coffee out of my nose right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So what do we got next?
What do we have next? Alan's asking about our next target on defense.
Well, Alan, you got to know right now is, O'Shawn Mathis is that guy that we're waiting to pull the trigger. The very coveted defensive tackle coming out of TCU, who is pretty much down to Nebraska and Texas at this point for his services. So, that might be a guy that, like I said, look out this week by Sunday that he might be a guy that ends up on the roster here. And then I would say number 2 on that list right now is Texas Tech defensive tackle, another transfer portal guy, Devin Drew. He's got a visit scheduled to come here too as well. And then I would say number 3 on that Smith is another transfer from Florida State by the name of Lamar Goods. He's coming here, and it's going to be a couple of weeks before he comes in for a visit. But Nebraska's working hard right now, especially recruiting that defensive line spot, and they're always looking for outside linebackers too. So, just if you're going to gamble, go to Vegas, and if they got odds on who the next commit for Nebraska is, I put it on O'Shawn Mathis at this point, but those are a couple of other names there I threw out for you that you can put your money on.
Drew played quite a bit of time at Texas Tech, 20 games in the last 2 seasons. He had 34 tackles this past year and has 55 career tackles. Now, Goods at Florida State. He played 1 game. Florida State?
Yeah, Florida State.
I got him listed with Florida.
Was it Florida? Yeah, one of them. The South Florida guy.
I believe it's Florida.
Okay.
According to...
I'm not going to look it up. You're right. You're right if you're looking him up. I'd rather just look at people's comments and not have to look anything up, any information up.
All right. I'm scanning for questions. There's not much going on, folks, right now. This is your time to produce. So I'm going to have to start. I'm going to have to show up next week and be in full off-season mode with all sorts of good questions.
Did you just put up a question that we just answered? Is what I'm looking at for Never Mind.
Yeah,
or did he just ask that? Oh, okay. Or is that what we just answered? I don't know. Where's Moonbot? Where's Moonbot at tonight?
Moonbot's here.
I know.
We're going to feature one of his questions here. He wants to know what area is going to be improved, guaranteed, this year.
Right now, buddy, the Yantee. That's what I'm looking at. No, I'm just throwing you a bone. No, I do love Jacquez Yant's development, obviously, but I think the offensive line is going to surprise a lot of people. That's been an area of concern, but I think they're going to put things together right now. And if I want to double up on that, I think the special teams is another area that's going to really show a lot of improvement. And you get those two things fixed. Looking back in a couple of previous seasons, you get those two areas fixed, you're going to turn around that win total and start getting them into the positive. So that's what I'm very excited about. And when you see Bill Bush out there doing his coaching of the special teams and stuff, he's a pretty special dude and has a very special attitude that you love to see from a football coach. So that's the kind of cool thing that I've noticed about the whole thing is with the coaching staff. Changeover and everything, that they've added some really fiery guys out there that demand a lot out of their players. And you've kind of seen some of that happening here. We're not talking about Casey Rogers here, but maybe on the offensive side of the ball that some people have decided that they don't want to put the work in for the demands that the new coaches have. But that's a good thing. It's positive, and the players that have bought into it are behind it 100%, obviously.
The last time we saw Marquis Stepp was, of course, at the spring game, and I don't know if he ever got
hurt.
Back
he got hurt. He
got hurt and never got back in the game.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do we have any idea how severe that injury is?
I don't think it's too bad. They haven't said anything. Obviously, since spring ball ended, and they're not obligated to talk about injuries after everything's been over with, and there's no media access. But I don't think it was too bad. It just in my opinion. So more of a precautionary thing that they didn't want him to go back into the game. But unfortunately, if you're talking about that running back room and Marquis Stepp, that what you've seen over the spring is that I think you saw a 3-horse race come out of the spring. Obviously, with the incumbent Ramir Johnson coming back, did his thing that he usually does, and then like we talked about with Jacquez Yant, making dropping 20 pounds, 20 or 30 almost pounds, and a guy that's already pretty fast. But he added a lot to his his endurance and his overall strength. And then the newcomer Anthony Grant, who you saw shine in the spring game with a big 63-yard touchdown run, and a guy that's really opened a lot of eyes up all spring, is that you had that running back room kind of come into that 3-horse race right there. And then you had Marquis Stepp, who, he was there and he was poised to be right there with all three of those guys. And then, like we said, he got hurt in the spring game. So, it makes him take another step back. And unfortunately, his career has been kind of up and down, since coming out of Indianapolis and going to USC as a high 4-star ranked running back, and then transferring here to Nebraska and hasn't had much of a chance to get on the field. So we'll see. I mean, it's competition, and these guys, that's what they do. They compete, and the best man always going to win out the job for what's best with their team.
If you had a chance to look at the 2024 class, any of those guys?
Oh, well, I mean, the bell cow right there, you got to know, is Dylan Raiola. The number one quarterback in the nation is who they're all zeroed in on right now. I think anything else after that's going to be gravy. So they're putting everything they got into that. But other than Dylan, that they've sent out just as many offers as any other Power 5 school, a top Power 5 school, and always working it hard. And they've had a lot of time here to work on the next two classes, especially this year with having a smaller class or filling up in the 2022 recruiting class. That they've been out in front on the 2023 class and had a lot of 2024 guys in. So it's kind of cool. And when you think about it, once you do get that one guy, like I'm talking about, like a Dylan Raiola, a guy that's a 5-star guy, he says, I'm coming to Nebraska. All of a sudden, your recruiting class changes like crazy, because then all of a sudden you got a bunch of other high-ranked guys saying, hey, this place might be the place for me. So we'll see. I mean, we're talking a long way off right now.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, that's what I'm telling you. Nebraska's radar is on right now. Not thinking about any other position group other than just highly ranked guys that they think can fit their scheme. But Dylan Raiola is that one guy right now that they're targeting that they can build their class around.
All right.
I'll say another thing that's kind of cool too is that bringing in a guy like Mark Whipple as the offensive coordinator, who a lot of people thought was going to retire, and say, why does he come to Nebraska? Well, number one, there on is that his salary got doubled on what he was getting paid at Pitt, and he's got a 2-year deal. So if it all falls through this year, he's still getting paid for another year. But besides that, this guy, he's a guy that comes and fixes things. He's a fixer, and he's already got a commitment from his quarterback that he had been targeting in the 2023 class. Is committed to Nebraska now, and he's doing a lot of recruiting right now on his own. He's totally, obviously, is bought into Mark Whipple's scheme and his system, and so a lot of these dominoes they fall kind of in a cool way when you look at kind of everything that they've added and with their future recruiting and everything. So if they put it all together on the field this year and produce a winning season and stuff, I think all of a sudden a lot of these recruiting questions kind of go away a little bit, because you start seeing a lot more guys saying, hey, this might be the place for me. So it's going to be interesting to watch, obviously.
Yeah, it's not like the win total needs to go crazy through the roof. That would be nice. But it's going to help recruiting if these student athletes see that things are turning around, that there's hope, that it's headed in the right direction, that it's starting to pay dividends on the field.
Yeah. Nope. I mean,
all right. Appreciate everybody being here.
It's hard. I mean, namesake means something, but it doesn't mean what it used to, especially if you're not producing on the field. And, kids want to be able to go somewhere and then propel themselves to the next level, obviously. But then you got the NIL that's now come in and snagged everything up. And, you can buy a player now for 6 figures and bring them in. So we'll see how everything pans out here as we move forward.
Appreciate everybody being here. The Voice of College Football. We do this every Tuesday with you. Leave those comments and questions. We will get to them. And we talk Huskers every Tuesday. We've done it 66 consecutive weeks with our man Greg from Husker Online. And bring some folks in here with you. We got about 60 on the line right now. Gary asks if Casey Thompson was promised QB1 for 22. It would be interesting to hear those conversations.
It would. It really would. That's hard to say if you're recruiting somebody and you're going to promise him the number one spot. I don't know how well that flies with either player or the coach, really. I mean, I got to feel that these guys want to come in and compete for the job, number one. But saying that is that Casey Thompson was brought in here, obviously, to be the number one guy. And now with the end of spring, when Chubba Purdy actually recovered from his injury and started participating in spring, might have thrown a little bit of a monkey wrench into that because he actually looked really good. And he shined pretty well in the spring game. So there might be a little bit more of a quarterback competition going on for that number one spot right now, just by judging what you saw in the spring. Not quite with the spring game because obviously Casey Thompson only got in there for 2 series. That's all they kind of wanted from him, and but everything you hear is very positive about Casey Thompson, and obviously, like we saw at the end, that the Chubba Purdy actually can play at a pretty high level too. So I love it. I think it's a nice problem to have right now that you have 2 guys that are veterans that are going to go in and compete. Every practice is going to be a competition. So I like it. I think it's pretty cool to see here finally in Nebraska.
Yeah. Again, it would be interesting to hear the conversation. I would hope that it's not promised, and I hope that the player would respect that it's not promised.
I don't see how you can do that. Really.
Yeah, I don't see how you can do it either. And it's almost like if your boss told you everything you wanted to hear and told you could screw off and not do what you wanted, well, you might want to hear that and be like, wow, this is a great place to work. But if you really thought about it, you'd think, is this where I want to work? Is this really long term? Is this a productive place, a professional place? It sounds good.
Yeah.
But I think guys understand that they want to be in a favorable position. Casey Thompson doesn't want to go somewhere and have to battle Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers for the starting quarterback job. But at the same time, he's going to understand that there's going to be some competition, and he wants to be, because if there's quarterback competition, then there's competition everywhere, and he wants to play for a winner.
And you know what, too? I think something that you got to think about, too, to factor into it is that, these guys chose to come here after Mark Whipple was named the offensive coordinator. And with his track record, that, he provides a pretty good path to the NFL as a guy that's been at the NFL level and been very successful at the NFL level. And, I hate to keep beating on the Mark Whipple drum, but I think it makes a huge difference with getting some of these high level guys that, they have their sights set on playing in the NFL. And, the competition to them is secondary because they can still get reps under a guy like Mark Whipple and hone their craft before their time is up. And we know Casey, Chubba Purdy's got more time here at Nebraska than Casey Thompson does too. So Chubba Purdy knows that he will get his chance one way or the other. So, like I said earlier, it's a nice problem to have if you're Coach Frost or Coach Whipple right now. And we don't even mention a guy like Logan Smothers, who has gutted it out, and who knows if he's going to stay with the program or not here come Sunday. But you got a lot of guys in that quarterback room right now. With Heinrich Harper here as well, and Richard Torres, and you got an incoming kid in Watson coming in next year. You got a ton of guys. It's a nice problem to have.
Roger Dodger's trying to move some of these running backs to defense.
I don't know if Marquise Stepp is durable enough to play linebacker. He hasn't shown that he can stay on the field much at running back.
True that.
I shouldn't laugh about that. I'm not trying to laugh at him, but yeah.
That's the way it's been. That's unfortunate. He showed some skills at USC, so we'll see if he can get back on the field. And
now you put Jaquez Yant on the defensive side of the ball. That guy is going to scare the hell out of me if I'm trying to run the ball or catch the ball with him out there. I like that one.
Well, we're not going to speculate on who the next coach could be. We're far away from that.
Yeah.
Scott Frost has he's got a good shot at sticking around and doing something positive this year. We all have our speculation on what he needs to do to keep his job, but
and then we have to go into that old debate on who can you get that's going to be better.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Not in April.
No.
Please.
Not going there. We are not going there. But Roger Dodger, Mark, you clown my responses to other people in the chat.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. You made him mad.
I don't know. What's going on over at Husker Online these days? What do you got available for folks to watch?
Oh, I don't know. What do we have? We've been doing some spring recap stuff, and baseball is garbage, and spring volleyball or whatever, exhibition volleyball, and putting together some special stuff here this week though for NFL draft with the Huskers. They're going to be in there, so stay tuned for some old high school video that I've shot of some of these guys that are going to be names are going to be called here this week, late this weekend. So that'll be kind of cool. But trying to do what we can right now, and not much going on.
The ESPN Football Power Index.
And obviously, I just want to let everybody know that is watching that we are Husker Online is still going to be Husker Online, but we are moving to On3 here in May. So we will no longer be Rivals.com Husker Online. We will be On3. So right now, get over if you're a Husker Online subscriber, or if you're not, get over there and you can sign up for a whole year of Husker Online on On3 for 99 cents. So you got a month of this deal going on. So well worth it if you want to see our content for a year for under $1.
Wow. Okay. All
and
right.
I'm not getting paid anything to say that.
The Football Power Index by ESPN has Nebraska listed as the 35th best team in the country.
Whoa!
Their projection is 7.7 wins and 4.6 losses. Now, that obviously adds more than 12. And the reason they do that is because there are certain projections. They run about, I think I read 12,000 models of the season. And the reason why some teams go over 12 games is because in certain scenarios, they're going to go to the conference championship game. So for Nebraska, that adds 12.3 games played. So they're estimating that in 30% of their models, they go to the Big Ten championship game.
Crazy, huh?
So they're pretty high on Nebraska.
I'm not going to go there. I would love to, but we'll see. Too many years in a row of this drinking the Kool-Aid that you think that good things are going to happen. So
I know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll see how that plays out. But that's very optimistic, obviously, especially for a national type of outlet. So, that just tells me that people aren't very high on a lot of the other teams in the Big Ten West this year.
They have Nebraska listed as they've got Wisconsin at 21.
I would love that. I love that. My prediction: Huskers in the Rose Bowl versus USA. That would be so cool. I would be there, and I'll meet you there, David. We'll have some beers.
They have Nebraska as the second-ranked team in the Western Division.
Wow.
Yes, they do. They've got Iowa behind them.
Behind who? Wisconsin?
Yes, Wisconsin at 21, Nebraska 35, Iowa 38.
Huh. Well, you got to prove it on the
40.
field. Got to prove it on the field.
Yeah. And that's not somebody's opinion. That's a bunch of stats.
Yeah.
Thrown into a computer. So I don't know what stats they're taking.
It's analytics. Yeah, crazy. Okay. Hey, I just want to get through week 0 out in Dublin, and then I can tell you a little bit more. Win against Northwestern, and then, okay, maybe we can start thinking about 7 or 8 wins.
Matthew, the one problem with your prediction there is that's impossible. And this is why. If you go 14-0, you're playing in the national championship game, you would play a 15th game.
Yeah. And so you didn't play that semifinal. Or you didn't show up for the semifinal.
That's actually impossible.
Played against Alabama. We're just not going to show up against Alabama in the semis.
Alabama's going to forfeit.
I like the enthusiasm there, though. Obviously,
Jose would like us to have a live chat reunion in the Rose Bowl if Nebraska makes it. I don't even know what that is. I guess just a live chat. Reunion? We're going to do a live stream.
I don't know. Do we have one do we have one that's worth having a reunion about? I'm not sure.
They're all worth it.
I mean, we're on 66 right now. I mean, what do we want to do? A reunion for 50 or 25? Or I'm not
sure. Yeah. We appreciate the sentiment there on that one. Mark, Greg, what are your thoughts on other Big Ten Western Division teams?
Oh, boy, it's so hard to even think about that at this time of year without seeing any product on the field. But, I mean, obviously, you always got to think that Wisconsin and Iowa are always going to be Wisconsin and Iowa. I think you've seen improvements there at places like Illinois. Northwestern's a team that's always a question mark that, year in and year out, they might look like they have nothing coming into it. And then all of a sudden they win the Big Ten West. Really hard to explain. And then Minnesota is another team that's pretty consistent right now under PJ Fleck. So, it's a pretty solid league, or half of the league for sure. So it's going to be a dogfight, I think, like it is pretty much year in and year out. Especially and then you got Brett Bielema at Illinois trying to build something too. So we'll see. It's going to be tough.
To me, it's the most interesting division in college football because I can look at every other division and tell you who the favorite is.
Yeah, exactly. And who do you come up with here? I don't know. I mean, just by tradition, you'd probably say Wisconsin, but I don't think we're gonna know until what 7, 8 games into the season. We probably won't have a good idea about who's going to be a front runner there. That's what I expect.
Roger Dodger goes Huskers 7-2 in the Big Ten. Mark is asking whether we know yet who the home team is. And usually you would be able to figure that out by looking at a team that plays an even number of conference games and look at the home and away teams. But there's 9 games in the Big Ten, so I don't know.
You know what? Okay, so last year for the game, Illinois was slated as the home team. So now I'm thinking about it that Northwestern would be the home team because it's not Nebraska still has all their home games. So
okay,
Northwestern would be the home team. In Dublin. Yep,
and they alternate every
year.
Well,
that's a stipulation that Nebraska made to do this game is that they weren't going to give up a home game to go to Dublin. So yeah,
and also Northwestern played at Nebraska last year, so this would be their home game.
Exactly. So I mean, it fits into the conference schedule. And quite frankly, both of these games last year's that was scheduled that didn't happen against Illinois. Then this year with Northwestern, quite frankly, Nebraska draws a hell of a lot more crowd than both of those teams do. So Nebraska is not going to give up a home game because it's worth too much money for them.
And so you're only about 4 months away from going. So that game's on August 27th. Today is the 26th, I believe. April 26th.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 months from tomorrow is the game.
Yeah. Well, we got, even quicker than that. We've got Big Ten Media Days, I want to say is the 26th of July or 27th. Okay. And then we fly right back home and fall camp starts, I think, 2 days after Big Ten Media Days, since we're on an accelerated schedule. So, yeah, things will start going fast here after. Yeah. Then we'll have, obviously, during June, we'll have our camps that we host here, the Friday Night Lights camps and the Pipeline camp and stuff. So, obviously right now, you got NFL draft coming up this week, and then we'll have kind of a quiet time here in May, which is great for me. My birthday is in May, so I can kind of take a little bit of time. And
me too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. What day? What day?
27th.
I'm 22.
Okay.
So gotcha. So yeah, I mean, things start back up. We got a little bit of lull right now, and a lot of recruiting going on, and so, everybody kind of sit back and watch a little USFL right now and watch some of those former Huskers playing there too. And we'll get back at it. We'll have a lot of news for you come up here in June. And not just those Nebraska camps too. We have some other camps that go on around the state and in other parts of the country here. So we'll be getting out and, covering some recruits and stuff. So a lot going on, even though it doesn't seem like a lot going on.
Yeah. So what you're going to get out of us is, yes, the NFL draft is this weekend. We're going to go live on Thursday and Friday night for the NFL draft. On Saturday's the last big weekend of spring games. There's a few left. Maryland and Minnesota play a doubleheader on the Big Ten Network. We will get you set up with that and go live on Saturday. And then we'll start all sorts of work on 2022. I just listed out my top 20 transfer quarterbacks, and we're going live in a half hour after we get off here with Greg to take your calls on the main channel. And I'm going to go through my
Do two of them have an N on their helmet?
One of them does for sure.
Okay.
I can't think. Well, yeah, no. That list is deeper than I thought it was.
Really?
Like, it's better than.
Well, yeah. I mean, now thinking
There's
about
a lot of guys.
all those guys that switched. Yeah, you're right.
I could find it. I can't find it, but
I mean, obviously, your list is going to be heavy with like guys that played a lot. So
yeah. So the one guy with an N on his helmet, yeah, he is firmly in the top 10.
Yeah, we know who that
guy is. But yeah, I went through 33 quarterbacks. I came up with a top 20, and we got a call-in show coming up at 8:30 Eastern time, everyone. So check us out on the main channel. For those of you that just watch on the Nebraska channel, we've got a main channel. I kind of sometimes assume too many times, Greg, that everybody knows what we're doing here. But
how do I get to the main channel, Mark? Please tell me.
Just MarkRogersTV.com.
Okay. That's easy.
Or you can just put in Mark Rogers TV in YouTube or Voice of College Football. It'll send you right there. But we're trying more and more just to keep that clean of just national topics and just call-in shows and live streams and make sure all that the team-specific content is where it needs to be. So for you Nebraska fans, boom, like it says right there, tell your friends. I know as long as you guys show up and you're here and you've got the live stream, you're all set, and that's good for you. But just keep in mind that we want to keep this going. We want to be here 6 months from now, a year from now, and we want to keep this going for a long, long time. So we would love that audience of 70 right now to grow and grow and grow and grow. And that's one way you can guarantee that we're going to be here every week. Just let your friends know that we're here on Tuesday at 6 Central. Okay.
So I see Roger Dodger's asking me a question about the best tailgate drink here.
Okay.
Which, Roger, sorry to say that the last tailgate that I attended was in 2006. So it's been a while. And also, I want to throw in there that you actually, I hope you are a Husker Online subscriber, since my boss, Sean Callahan, is a huge Dodgers fan. So, got that going for you. But most people around here like to drink beer. I don't know if there's really a go-to mixed drink, but, people around in Nebraska like to drink beer. That would be the number one go-to. So there you go. There's my 2 cents worth.
All right, let's see what else we've got. Troy, you are on the mark for sure. I hate when I'm about to click on somebody's comment, and if somebody else comments, it moves the stream, and I click the wrong comment.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happens. There we go. If Nebraska wins, you will grow. I understand that. Yes, if Nebraska's playing well, people will come in. But for you diehards, you're going to be here anyway, and you can help us grow. That's all I'm saying.
And why is he putting Husker Max? Husker Max steals all of our stuff, all of our content. They're not even a legitimate site. They steal everybody else's stuff and just put it up.
Yeah, I heard about Husker Max a long time ago, but I don't know much about them.
Yeah, they just steal everybody's content and regurgitate it. They don't even hide it. They just put up your story or your video.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's what they do.
Do they credit anyone?
No, they just put it up. I mean, I don't care if they put my video's got my watermark on it, and it's huge. So anybody that's trying to use it is going to have a Husker Online watermark on it, unless they stretch it out to where it looks so horrible. But I don't really worry about them very much. It actually brings traffic to your site, so they're okay. I'm not complaining about them, but they're just not legitimate. They don't produce any content of their own.
Okay,
is my point.
They pretty much are a collection site.
Right.
They collect everybody else's and just repost it.
They might do their own podcast. I don't know, but I wouldn't even know who those guys are that are doing it.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys in there sitting in their mom's basement, probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, our approach here is that all my analysis and everything else is original, and I will clearly state if, let's say, Lincoln Riley just decides to up and go to USC, and we're not. Yeah, I'm just making this up. I'm just making up that in your wildest dreams, could that possibly happen? No, but let's just play along. That if I go on live and say Lincoln Riley is going to USC, I didn't break the story, so I'll go on and say either it's been out long enough that it's everywhere, I don't know who broke the story, it's all over the place, or I'll say, this just came down 4 minutes ago and it's on Fox college football, and so is the first to report based on what I can see, the first to report such and such, and give credit to the person breaking the news.
That's what's expected for us media types.
Yeah.
That's what we were taught in college. And that's how you stay out of trouble with others that you might want to steal their content from. You know what? If anybody asks me, if they hit me up and ask me if they can use it, I always say yes. I mean, all you got to do is ask, get permission. That's all.
I say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you got to do. Just, hey, reach out to me. Don't just take it and use it. Reach out to me. And 99% of the time, I'm probably going to say yes. Go ahead.
But you're right. Anybody can take anything. And somebody, I've got my tech guy that I worked with at ESPN, and he shows me all sorts of tricks of the trade. And he was the one that showed me where I can copy my title and look and Google it online and see who's stolen my content. And it is funny to see how many videos people steal and put on their own sites.
Whoa, yeah. We probably spend way more money hiring lawyers to try to go after these people, unless it's YouTube, and we'll let Google handle that one. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's funny. I'll even, add, Nebraska has a Japanese player on their basketball team. And I had a lot of Japanese stations and websites just taking my video. And, we made a couple complaints on it. And then some of them would actually reach out and ask if they could use it. And I'd say, hell yeah, no problem, man. So, yeah, it's out there. This is the day and age of the technology age that we're in. That it's not very hard to, just pull something off and use it as your own. So obviously that's the same point that I brought up earlier, is that I put a big ass Husker Online watermark on all my videos. So I make it very difficult for you to steal my stuff and to claim it as your own.
For sure.
Yeah, we're giving everybody a little bit of education on internet technology, it seems like. Taco.
Appreciate you being here, Troy. You guys are the best. Thanks for the content. You guys, we need this every day. Well, you'd have to feed us all sorts of
yummy tacos,
comments, and the tacos. Yeah, you'd have to feed us and feed us.
We wouldn't just have Taco Tuesday. We'd be having taco every day.
Oh, we'd have Taco Tuesday.
Pizza on Friday.
Yes. Yeah, we'd have to mix it up for sure.
And for Husker fans, we'd have Runzas on Monday. How about that?
We would have what?
Runzas.
What are those?
That's
Runzas.
That's a Nebraska staple. It's got German lineage. It's basically just like a bun, like a dough filled with. Well, the original one is just with ground beef and a little bit of a cabbage in there, and spices in there. It's really good. Then you get cheese runza. Then they've developed all kinds of other flavors now over the years. But yeah, it's one of the big staples here in the state, and it's kind of branched out into the neighboring states a little bit. But it's one of those guarded Nebraska, franchise traditions that they don't want to get to let it spread out too far.
Okay, I guess because I've never heard of them.
But it's it's one of the major advertiser of food sales at all Nebraska athletics is Valentino's Pizza and Runza's are the two big things. And anybody that's never had a Runza, if they come to Nebraska and try one, they're hooked on it for life.
Everybody contact your favorite Runza place and get them to sponsor
Runza.com.
our Nebraska show. All right. As mentioned, next show coming up in just a few minutes. Our top 20 transfer quarterbacks call-in show. So check us out. All right, Greg, anything else going on?
Hopefully after, well, we don't want to add Logan Smothers to that list here after Sunday. I'll just put that in there. Since you're already going to do your list tonight, I think we're safe.
That's the list. It's in the book. So if you guys want to check it out and see where Casey Thompson made it, then we'll be online here in about 20 minutes on the live show on the main channel. Greg, you have a big week. Take care. Be good.
We'll try. We'll try to keep busy. Can't wait for Thursday. I love that NFL draft, especially coming out of this year. So got to make sure that we get everything out of the way done with before Thursday evening starts. And we'll probably be glued to the TVs all weekend.
This is what I should have hit you up on. Who do we expect to come off the board for the Huskers?
Well, first, boy, there's a lot of guys that I think are going to get their names called. Probably not until day 3. But JoJo Doman definitely is a guy up there. Samari Torre is a guy. Cam Jurgens probably going to be the first guy called off the list. Mel Kiper is super high on Cam Jurgens. So I definitely expect Cam to be the first guy taken as a Husker. Then JoJo, Samari Torre, Cam Taylor-Britt, Austin Allen, throw Ben Stilley in there. Has got a chance to get drafted as well. So a lot of Huskers probably going to get their names called here this year. And then obviously you'll have another handful of guys signed as undrafted free agents. So one of the more exciting years for Husker fans to watch the draft here in the last 2 or 3, for sure.
All right. We're also going live for the NFL draft on Thursday night. So
cool.
You can watch the NFL draft, and you can also talk to everybody in the live chat and listen to me.
Well, if you're doing it day 3, then I'll jump in when Huskers start getting called.
We might do that. I'm going to be zigzagging around a couple spring games, but we might do some day 3 draft coverage. I'll get you in here.
I got nothing going on.
Okay. All right, everybody. So you know what to do. Grab some folks, bring them on in next Tuesday. Help us out with that. Hit the like button on your way out, and I'm going to be online here in 20 minutes on the main channel. So we'll see you then. Jose, you got it right. GBR, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Greg, thanks for making this happen.
Absolutely. And I throw Damian Daniels' name in there, too, for draft watch guys. So didn't mean to leave him out of the picture there, but GBR, everybody.